somebody is eating chicken, drumstick, or winawaga akudia bread. Like much bread, much. Very much. My piece is chicken, much. Bread. For the drumstick, wing. And it is that you know, for example, they like those pieces and my drumstick. That's all. Dinner summer's born. If it's my one that you know. So you would, if you sat there and you were noticing maybe 2 customers, then I was to order my drumstick, then I was to order my wings. It's very difficult to sit there and observe their happiness. Why have they ordered the meals also? To measure the satisfaction by observation is not easy. Even though we talk about satisfaction and videos as the unit of measurement. So these are theories somehow, but some of them make sense. So marginal utility theory makes sense. For example, when you are talking about food stuff, to me it makes very good sense because I'm happier with the face issue. Or utema tima icha kutika ya mati for much tongo which is initially the initial bombs are very satisfying because you were very hungry. The satisfaction will start diminishing as you continue on the bomb. That makes sense. To say marginal utility decreases as you consume more of a particular product. Makes sense. I'm not so sure about, I think maybe it's the same. For example, if you are buying a car, you bought your first car, I'm sure the happiness is very high. You buy a second one, the happiness might not be the same as when you had the first one. Then you buy the third one, and the fourth car, it becomes, I would presume the same. I cannot tell you about my personal experience because I never keep more than 2 cars, even if I have money. 2 cars, yes, because my wife will need to travel on her own. But 3, 4. I have a son who has 7 cars, and I've always been telling him, you have a half ton, you have these 5 small cars. Why? The utility cannot be, unless if it's a hobby or you are just being crazy. The happiness doesn't continue with that. I don't think so. Although balance, we can give real-life example. Although bad, your first shoe, yes, because and if you might have there, so you have a shoe. The satisfaction of getting that shoe, the happiness, is supposed to be far much higher than when you buy the second shoes. Maybe you can disagree with me in the sense of it. Mina quality the type, But the happiness, satisfaction is greater when you have the first thing that you needed in your life than when you are putting another thing on top. It's not necessary to have mashati and beach, for example. Honestly, or my dress and beach. What? Yeah. Maybe if you want to do this in a center, have 7. Yes. Monday to Sunday. Monday to Sunday. Ngati uma siufuna utijaba afupa. Then that's about the maximum I would think. Why should you have faith? So, utility is satisfaction. You are measuring satisfaction.
The question.
Sorry?
The question. In this, very carefully, the examples you have been giving. Is this the concept to do with utility only applicable to goods, not services?
Oh, no, it's goods and services. Now, I wanted to move to that side, but you are faster. These satisfaction, goods and services, are very much linked to why certain products or services are called just utility. So if you have your phone there, go on put *211# call, and then go on make payment. When you go on make payment, you will be asked to choose. There will be utilities. Click on utilities, select utilities. Tell me what the utilities say. Why have they labeled them utilities? What? Come on. No. Utility is there on your Airtel or phone. Utility. There's water there, there's mageti, and so on and so on. Basically, this issue of utilities, the way it has, it's not the way we are defining it in economics. But these utilities that we mentioned is because they are for your happiness. You see how now it has turned into utilities just being happiness? Of course, we define utility as satisfaction. Okay? Utility is defined as satisfaction that you get. That's what utility is in economics. Utility is the satisfaction you get from consuming a good or a service. Now, these utilities, in the way we know them, like water and electricity, is because they are services that make you happy. Satisfaction is like happiness. So, mercy against me. They just make your life easier, happier. You know you can live without them.
What, money?
No, against Mama. Yeah, of course you can live without money. Huh? You think you have? It's not necessary. Maggie, I'm saying you, it's not necessary. If you have lived in the village, for example, do people die in the village? Yeah, you don't. I said, you don't need a phone to live. Do you need a phone to live? Okay. Maybe you do. So, even though we said it's very difficult to measure utility satisfaction, but maybe indirectly we can. So, for example, let's say somebody wants to buy a bottle of water. When a bottle of water is 1,000 kwacha, people will continue to buy. But when it becomes 1,500, nobody wants to buy it. Okay? Up to 1,000 kwacha per bottle, people are buying. But when the price goes up to 1,500, nobody wants to buy that bottle of water. So maybe it's these bottled waters, they are different make and producers and names and that. And maybe you write a certain type, but as long as the price is not beyond 1,000, you go and buy. The moment the price has hit 1,500, you no longer want to buy that bottle. So that's what could we learn from that in terms of measuring utility indirectly? What could we learn from that?
You want to repeat the statement?
I'm saying, even though it's difficult to observe utility, observe the measurement of utility, the satisfaction, but maybe indirectly we can put some estimation on satisfaction indirectly. So, for example, a bottle of water is selling at anything between 0 to 1,000, and you are willing to buy. Up to 1,000 kwacha, you are willing to buy. You are willing to spend 1,000 kwacha for a bottle. But you are not willing to pay 1,500 for that bottle. Because the moment it reaches 1,500, you don't buy. You are not willing. But you have been willing to buy that bottle of water when the price was 1,000 or less. Then we can indirectly try to measure what's your satisfaction that you derive from consuming this bottle of water. So you can probably safely say that a bottle of water has some economic utility somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. Economic utility. and make economic utility is when we are talking about cardinal utility, right? That's what I said. Because the economists try to put a figure to it. So the cardinal utility is somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. Because above 1,500, you have zero. There's no value in it. You feel you cannot pay for a bottle of water 1,500, even higher, is just out of question. So that's what I'm saying, that maybe indirectly we can, by measuring your willingness to pay. Your willingness to pay for this bottle of water shows that you are trying to tell us that your satisfaction is around that amount. Because you are willing to pay when it is 1,000 quite. Once it reaches 1,500, you are not willing to pay. That gives us some idea about the satisfaction, the measurement of satisfaction that you have for that bottle of water. So we can safely say that the utility of this bottle is somewhere around between 1,000 and 1,500. Because that's where you can see your behavior of willingness to pay tells us. So you are actually measuring that satisfaction yourself reflected in the price. Now, this is very theoretical, because what I've just said is very theoretical, because in practice, there are other variables that come with people's decision about their willingness to pay. Okay? It's not just satisfaction. That was in the Makara budget constraints. So it's not always just that from this willingness to pay, we should be able to say, then we can measure utility. I have said that I'm criticizing myself. I've just told you that we can indirectly infer something from your willingness to pay. We can have an idea about the level of satisfaction that you are attaching to this bottle of water. That's what I said. But I'm criticizing myself. I'm saying this is sometimes not true, because what goes into people's choices is more than satisfaction. Okay? Yes. Sometimes it's not just satisfaction. So now Peter restaurant muja, even though you like pizza, kumumina ndama zako mzilocheva, ukagura bani. Right? Does mean really mavazi mjamena makuta satisfy for me. So this measuring satisfaction by observation and by looking at your willingness to pay is fine. But we have to have a critical mind, knowing that it's not just satisfaction. That people, enough people have the willingness to pay. It's other variables. What goes into choices? Why people choose? So choices can actually be determined by other factors. When a budget you have, for example, when I was school, I died of pass 2,000 in their lunch. Then we have you find by the Zaki have a good Sabaja, which is really, if you ate it, you will be very happy. but it's 2,500. Where you can't. Sometimes choices are not because of the happiness you get, but other things as well. So when a statement is made, I expect you as university students to be able to criticize and to be able to say, what about this? What about this? That's why, as I always say, that you can talk differently about the question that I have asked. When I am Brazil, but I will look at the reason and both of you can ask. That's meaningfully, we were in Bamajonji, what he was thinking. Were you thinking? Or you were just down? Okay? And so, these statements, these economic statements that we are making, you can actually start deciding and look intelligently, look at, is it true? The lecturer said you can measure like this, but fine. It's true, but it can also be wrong. Something else can also be right. So, even though we can measure your willingness to pay for a bottle and infer from that willingness to pay for a bottle of water up to 1,000 kwacha, meaning, the satisfaction this consumer is getting is up to this much in monetary terms or in UTIs. But we know that satisfaction can also be influenced by choices that people make. And what influences choices are many things. It can be prices, it can be looks, it can be mina makara, mina makonda, it can be mina style, mina texture, and journey. These choices are not just about being satisfied because so we can think along those lines. Satisfaction is difficult to measure. But cardinal utility is a concept where we are trying to put values, quantities on this satisfaction, this utility. Utility is satisfaction. So utility companies what we have just been discussing. As I said, I wanted to talk about it later, but I was asked earlier, so I had to comment on it. So how do you invest in utilities? In utilities, companies, for example, operate in water, electricity, oil, and gas sectors. Oil and gas sector. So electricity, water, oil and gas. In Malawi, gas and oil is not, most of you will not understand it very well, unless if you have traveled. For some of us who are well traveled, I'm not trying to be both there, but I am. I've been very few countries in the world I've not been to. In some of these countries, these four things are already connected to every plot. Every plot. So you have water connected to every plot, electricity connected to every plot, gas connected to every plot, oil connected to every plot. I'm not talking about petrol and diesel, my heating oils. Because that's all, their temperatures are so, it can go to extremes, very cold. Bangotruka, Munyumba, Kupita Panjabu is minus 30. So you take water and throw it on the ground, how it becomes ice. So they have extreme weather conditions. So zipupazi ama zimanga in such a way that pakatipo ama vika chimakanga flexible kuma something wenjiro imakara undugo chichamalika pakati to ama insulating they are insulating the house. And then makara mapanels tauzina manyumba moja mapale mbele mchumba mazi odenda. You switch on and off. When a room is warm, you just open the room tap church. Then she panel chimakanga chirata church. Matusa mazi odenda mbele moja. So there is wired all over the house. The mechanic necessary. Switch them on, my heaters, water heaters. Munyumba with makara motel. Switch it off, bakao moja kwa mbili. Gasi kamfuna yopikira, you just connect my pipe to your gas stove. My pipe makara kutalipanja bomba. My meter you paying at minimum bila magesi. Umogo, ongea malipia maji. Bili ya gas si mambo ya chuma. Bili wa oil mambo ya chuma. So these utilities and that they have water, electricity, gas and oil. For my part to know, it's only water and electricity. I just wanted you to know why they are mentioned here. Because once that those are assumed that utilities which are available could be by IDOs. Plot ya empty jojo, ama takuziwa kuti gasa zategera hapa, maza zategera hapa, and so on and so on. Just even my phone, how many my phone you have in your one. Every house you know where to start. Si kuti uita naso MTL ukabwirane mu 24 they were all underground because even my gates are underground. That's why if you go to or mkaona film cities zambiri kandi London, New York, Kanchani, you don't see maporo magisi. And you'll be wondering if maporo magisi ulibe. They are all underground. So nyumba ngati itengira basi pomwepa. It's not like kuna tambo ya magesi. They are all underground pipes. Already ready. Okay, so utilities in this case, ama companies which invest in these things that make your life happy. Basically. That's how, as an economist, I can relate to things like Mageti. They are a service. They are not food. These are services. Maybe water you can eat the service, city mama. So it goes into your mouth and stomach. Maybe water, but it's the same. So yes, utilities can also be saved, not only that makes people happy. Now, there are 4 types of utilities. economic utility. There are 4 types of economic utility. There is time utility, there is place utility, there is form utility, form, time, rest, and possession. These are the 4 types. So these 4 utilities, they are basically psychological. Okay? They are psychological forms of utility. Because, you know, this satisfaction thing, as I said, we as many chimam satisfied is not what we not chimam satisfied. They are just many makonda ingote. So they are psychological aspects of satisfaction. We are putting them into 4, but they are psychological in nature. They refer to psychological importance. Psychological importance attached to these different forms of utility. Psychological importance. These are psychological importance. These 4 are referring to psychological importance. Attached to them. So, for example, when we say form utility, it's just a result of, for example, the design of a product. The design, the way the product looks like, just gives you happiness. So it's a form utility. It's just the design of the product. Dress, you design chabi, it makes you happy. I don't know how you can, it's psychological. How can a design, the way something looks, just makes you happy? Why? Don't know. I don't know. When we call that design, just a form. It's psychological importance that we are attaching to something. Design it's just the form. It makes you happy. Okay? So, time, for example, utility, is just that you are so happy when a company delivers to you something very timely. Okay? just because they are always very on time, then you like buying their products. Mwina amasoba mabuto anu machangu, then you like TNM and not here. Just because they are timely. I mean, whatever. Time is just basically that you are happy that something is given to you at the time you need it. At the time you request, they supply. It could be a mobile restaurant, it could be whatever. You buy their thing because when you call, within 30 minutes they bring you the stuff. Another company you call, they take 2 hours. So you start preferring them. Those who give you time utility. Start preferring them. Remember, these satisfactions are about preference. Praise is the same thing. Where you are. Sometimes there are certain things you are happy with because they are near you. Very easy to reach. You just walk a small distance. It's about the location. Praise utility. Same thing with possession. So these are psychological. Psychological importance. So let's look at the importance. The reason we study utility and total utility and use these in economic analysis is because of trying to understand human behavior or consumer behavior. Understanding consumer behavior is very important, and that's why we study the satisfaction and utility. You want to understand human behavior in the marketplace, and that's why you need to understand these issues about total utility and utilities in general. So, the issue of marginal utility, for example, these marginal increases or marginal decreases are very important to understand human behavior in the marketplace. Remember, you studied demand and supply issues. So, understanding how people make decisions, consumer behavior, is by looking at these issues of utility, marginal utilities, how they increase or decrease. So if you want to expand the business or you want to expand quantities, you should be aware about marginal utility behavior within your product or your industry. So, if you are in a food product, how much more can you increase versus the increase in population, for example? What are the marginal utility behaviors in your line of products that you are? There are some products, for example, and Hamakutan San. There are some products where people can't have, they can't have enough. They continue buying. So it depends on the marginal utilities within the sector you are. So you need to study human, especially consumer behavior using these utilities. Now, one thing which is linked to all this is what we call rational choice theory. Rational choice theory. I think I have mentioned it before, that in economics we assume or we believe that human beings want more than less. Okay? That's what I said. When we are looking at the theory of demand, for example, that when price goes down, people want more. People demand more. Okay? And remember the law of demand. Okay? Quantity demanded increases as prices go down. And when we are saying decreases as prices go down, what our assumption is that people want more than less. It's human behavior to want more than less. Okay? Now, when we say rational, we also say human beings are rational human beings. We believe that we are all rational people. Wait, what do we mean by rational? That we are rational human beings. Because certain theories, our assumptions cannot be made without emphasizing that we are all rational. Because if we are irrational, whatever we say cannot hold. So, rational meaning people always choose the best option. So, if you are given a number of options, you will choose the best. And your choice will be rational. Meaning the choice makes sense. So for example, if you are a business which is producing something, and there are several ways of producing that thing, and one is cheaper than the other, we believe that you will choose the cheaper way. Okay? That's what we mean by rational. If two methods all produce a certain product, and one method is cheaper, you will choose the cheaper one. That's what we mean by rational. You are not rational. You choose the best option. That's why we say human beings are rational beings. They will always choose the best option. So this utility theory is very closely related to rational choice theory. The rational choice theory is what I've just explained. So the utility theory is studied alongside rational choice theory and the law of diminishing marginal utility that we just said. The law of diminishing marginal utility. Marginal utility goes down as you consume more of one product. Just as I said, you eat in Dasti Yoyamba, the happiness goes down and down. So the law of diminishing marginal utility. That's diminishing marginal utility. It goes down and down as you increase the unit, as you increase the consumption of units of the product. You are made with the law of diminishing utility. And this is very closely related to rational choice theory, which means you always choose the best option. Because rational choice theory, what does it say? Rational choice theory says that consumers seek to maximize their utility with each unit of consumption. That's what rational choice theory says. Meaning, you always choose to maximize your marginal utility. It's in our nature as human beings that you want to maximize your marginal utility. Family will gain one billion table. You don't want to go and start throwing up. You stop where your happiness ends. So you cannot continue buying more and more mandats and yet it's not giving you any happiness. You will not do that. You are not stupid. You are rational. You are a rational human being. You choose best options, best choices. You will not continue spending money on something that no longer makes you happy. Wakuta and then you still continue. No. Because rational choice theory just tells us that you seek to maximize. As long as you are getting more happiness, you continue. Up to the time when that gain is not there. So, for example, this thing here, if you went on to do the third and the fourth strike of this, and this one gives you -5. Okay? Because now you have started throwing up. When you have 4 or quarter, and then we will just speech number 5, and that leads you to vomit. Utility is -5. You see, you are diminishing marginal utility up to the point that it's getting to negative, and that will affect your total now. Instead of, if you stopped here, your total utility would have been 20. Okay? If you stopped there on slide number 3, your total utility would be 20. 10 plus 8 plus 2. Now you forced yourself to go on to slide number 4, which gave you a negative utility. Now, 10 plus 8 plus 2 minus 5. Now your total will be 15. A rational human being, rational choice theory does not support that. That a human being will not behave like that. You can't. Because we assume human beings are rational beings. You make this choice. So you will not go that far. You can imagine with it. Wasanza Mungu au braveto chinacho. Shara brasiki. No. Yeah, that's what rational theory is talking about. Is talking about. And these things relate to the theory of demand. The theory of demand is also at play. Just go back and look at your notes you have about theory of demand, and then start thinking, how are these things related? They do relate to each other. Because the theory of demand says that consumer actions are driven towards utility maximization. Okay? I didn't want to introduce Masamu. Thomas Masamu will probably next week, when we move on to another topic, we will do a revision of this, and then I will give you more examples about utility maximization. Figure. guys, sorry. Ni maji yana lazima kipesa. Maana ni mkuru. Haya mwa koko ni. Sorry, ni maji kuna umasini maji tezi. Wewe kwea. Wewe saina pako basi, wewe saina. Just take your name and sign and leave. Kuna wapi mama yetu? Chakula lita kupasani. Amena kuna atatenga. Ni kade chimu lizono kwa paja. Dilizo ndio na maremba ku magesi. Wanaile na wake. Kuhudi Julai. Ndio maremba kipata. Yes. Ndio ameno nditenga lero ndikachonge. Ndikapatikize zimene zozo ndeke na kale papa. Bali demena nani ba zuwa. Ndino no. Maybe a weekend kabisa. Because that's what I was told. And I couldn't stay home my son so that they don't write the same question. And I know the word in my mind. I hope they don't. Commando, if you don't want to get them, fine. Because some people don't accept the form that it's not just the zero worker. You work hard. Social media.